The heart of your teams. The heart of Texas. Bally Sports Southwest. The heart of the fan.
The Rangers dedicated the last 2 off seasons to construct a championship roster.
Winning is always in everybody's, that's the first thing on everybody's list. Make the playoffs and see what we can do in the playoffs. We need to get in and see if we can get hot.
You get into the playoffs and really anything can happen.
They spent most of 2023 leading the AL West.
And this one is over. This one is over. And what a statement victory.
It's been an incredible run here.
But the arduous challenge of clinching a postseason berth is intensifying.
It is a wild race right now.
The Texas Rangers have 7 games remaining, and the postseason push is on. They're armed with pitching depth, a prolific offense,
and the Rangers just keep churning,
and an experienced leader in these moments. The pursuit of a World Series crown remains. But first, the Rangers must punch their ticket to October.
And so the last step of the journey for the Rangers as they head to the coast. Rangers baseball presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. And it starts this final week tonight here in Los Angeles. Game 1 of a 3-game series with the Angels. Taking a look at the standings now in the American League West. There, the Rangers now a full 2.5 games up on Houston. 3 over the Mariners, and importantly, 3 games up in the loss column over both. All right, welcome in, everybody. It's great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Ramond with CJ Nitkowski, and this is it. The last week of the year, the last road push of the year for this team. Now, they finished off the home schedule yesterday with a 9-8 win over Seattle. It was a sweep of the Mariners, but what really stood out yesterday, CJ, was the offense.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable to watch the Rangers in that game. The home runs, a little Statcast powered by Google Cloud, and we take a look at those 6 home runs with the distances that the Rangers hit yesterday. Marcus Semien with 2 of those. Fun to see the rookie Evan Carter chipping in as well. And so, yeah, we enjoyed seeing the power. We enjoy seeing the offense, and we continue to see that here, hopefully, as this road trip starts to finish out the season. How about some of the milestones for the guys? Marcus Semien with his 97 RBIs now, just 5 away from his career high of 102. It certainly seems like he's got a good chance to get there. Corey Seager, we saw him hit his 33rd home run, tying the number that he had last year. That is a single season high. We expect him to pass that single season high. And then we got Adolis Garcia, of course. He has been doing it for the last couple of years with the Rangers. He's now got career highs with the home runs, the RBIs, and runs scored for him. So certainly been pretty incredible to see what the Rangers have done. Now, on the other side of things here, for the Angels, it has been a real struggle, and they have some pretty big names that are on the IL. Shohei Ohtani, of course, could be on his way to an MVP, but he is out dealing with the elbow injury and the oblique. We found out yesterday Mike Trout going on the 60-day IL. His season is over, and we have barely seen Anthony Rendon at all in an Angel uniform ever since he signed that multi-year deal. How about better than 1,800 games missed by the entire roster? That is the second most in Major League Baseball.
So the Rangers, the other big story for them lately has been the bullpen. They've gotten a big boost lately from Jose Leclerc. We'll put him in the spotlight with Emily Jones when we come back.
Of the regular season, and the Rangers are ready. The first of 3 against division rival Anaheim, and the Rangers with a lot on the line, as we all know, and welcome you inside Angel Stadium to get you ready for this one. The games just keep getting bigger and bigger. Texas remaining in control of their own destiny. They will need all hands on deck and performances from every phase of the game, and they definitely got it from the bullpen, particularly the back end in that last series against those Mariners. In particular, Jose Leclerc, as we can see in our Shiner box spotlight. He got 4 outs in that Saturday game, then came in to close things out yesterday. 3 outs, ninth inning save for Jose Leclerc. You saw the emotion from him after the game. He wears those emotions on his sleeve, and it's fun to see him react that way, especially when things are going well. And they certainly are for him now, Dave.
Yeah, it's been pretty exciting and pretty fun to watch for that young man, and so critical for this Rangers bullpen going forward that they continue to get good work out of Jose Leclerc and others in that bullpen. But a real boost in that Seattle series. And now we hit the road and see how this team fares in the final week of the regular season. And today, Bruce Bochy's club in here with an 87-68 mark, a 2.5 game lead over Houston in the division. It's a red-hot Marcus Semien leading it off. Corey Seager at short bat second, and then Robbie Grossman today getting the start in left. Young, Garcia, and Garver the DH in the middle of the order. Lowe drops all the way down to 7th. He's at first base. Heim catches, and Leody Taveras in center field bats 9th.
Let's go ahead and look at the Daspit Law Firm starting pitcher stats here. It is Patrick Sandoval on the mound for the Angels. 7-13 record for him, 4.19 ERA for the left-hander. The Rangers have seen him before. He's given up 12 home runs. He has a very good 48% ground ball rate, but the walk rate is really high. You got a slider, changeup, 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball. There's a curveball and a sweeper in there as well. His changeup is a really good one, just a 186 batting average against. How about the defense for the Angels and Phil Nevin's club? Randall Grichuk, Joe Adell, and Jared Walsh in the outfield left to right. You have Mike Moustakas and the rookie Nolan Shonowell over at first. Zach Neto, Michael Stefanik up the middle, and Logan O'Hoppe, the rookie, doing the catching.
All right, well, it is a gorgeous night for baseball here in Anaheim. Opening game of this 3-game series. And Sandoval, the left-hander. It's been a while since the Rangers have seen a lefty. His first pitch, that one spanked the other way, foul, out of play for strike 1. 73 degrees tonight at first pitch here. And Sandoval's 1-strike offering, that's fouled straight back.
And so you mentioned the Rangers not seeing a lefty in a while, and they will see back-to-back lefties with Patrick Sandoval going tonight and then tomorrow scheduled for Reed Detmers. And that'll probably be it, because we know that the Mariners don't have any lefties in their rotation.
Well, the next offering fouled away again by Marcus. So he's up there hacking against Sandoval. Marcus with 27 homers, 97 RBIs, as we discussed in the open. Just 5 shy of his career high mark of 102 RBIs. And Sandoval delivers. That is upstairs. Ball 1. Been an all-around terrific year for Marcus Semien again. Coming off a really good homestand and quite the finale yesterday. 2 for 4 with a couple of homers. But he strikes out swinging here, 1 away.
And there's that good changeup that I was talking about for Patrick Sandoval. He's got great movement on all his pitches, but the deception on the changeup is the big one. This one starts probably at the bottom of the zone in Marcus's eyes, and you can see just the bottom falls out from it as it finishes nearly in the dirt.
Okay, so now Corey Seager. Seager also homered yesterday. His 33rd of the year. And he goes after the first pitch, lines it into right field, base hit. Fairly standard. Seager aggressive up there going after that first offering.
Yeah, he's just not going to wait around, and you get a fastball that's anywhere near the strike zone, especially left on left, and Corey Seager is going to go after it. That is just his second hit against Patrick Sandoval now in 15 at-bats.
Yeah, that was definitely the one matchup tonight that you would look at, and you see just a tremendous advantage for Sandoval there, but not tonight. Seager gets him, and now Robbie Grossman, who moves up into the 3rd spot in the lineup against the left-handed pitcher, and that one is taken downstairs, ball 1. So you see this shuffling of the lineup with a lefty starter for the Rangers, and that's because Grossman has done so well against lefties this year. Numbers very different left and right for Robbie. And Bruce Bochy wants to take advantage of that. I mean, he hits better than 100 points higher against lefties than he does righties. But he has, in addition to that, a little extra pop.
How about the OPS difference for him? 300 and nearly 330 points higher against the lefties.
It's upstairs, 3-0.
And the good thing for Robbie, too, as you mentioned with Detmers, he'll likely get back-to-back starts, right? For him, that kind of sporadic playing time can be a challenge, and he'll probably be called on for some pinch hitting duties as well once the Rangers get to Seattle with all the righties.
Seager with a very modest lead at first, and that is high. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Robbie Grossman. And so all those things we were talking about with Robbie, particularly against left-handed pitching, the one thing that's consistent versus lefties or righties has been his ability to command the strike zone, work walks, get on base. He's a 340, very nearly 340 on base this year.
Take a look at those splits there. And yeah, certainly the batting average down a lot lower, but I mentioned that OPS. What a difference. But yeah, it's a good point. The walk rate, regardless, left to right, has been a non-issue.
Now the rookie, Josh Young, and he takes ball one. So 5 straight misses from Sandoval since allowing that base hit to Seager. And as CJ mentioned, Sandoval a little trouble with the walks. There's a little tapper towards short, not very hard hit, and so the only out they can get is Grossman at second. Pardon me, a foul ball off his foot.
It was incredible how far this ball went. As you're going to see it here, go right off of the front of the spike there for Josh Young, and it continued to look like almost a routine ground ball shortstop. You don't see that too often.
And apparently it didn't bother him very much. A lot of times guy fouls one off his foot or whatever, and they'll walk around for a bit, trying to get the feeling back. But that one, I don't think it's been a very glancing blow. So everybody stays put, and the pitch is outside. It's 2-1. West Coast baseball for the Rangers to wrap up the regular season. Traveled yesterday after the ball game. Got in at a very reasonable hour here on the West Coast. 2-1 pitch. Whoa.
Wow.
3-1.
And not the reaction that you want to see if you're Phil Nevin right now from Patrick Sandoval. And if you remember the start that he had against the Rangers last time the Angels were in town, we saw a guy who certainly showed some emotion. But this is unusual, right? To see him completely turn his back, grimace a little bit, almost like something in his back maybe is bothering him.
Young hits it foul.
But going back, it was August 14th, that start. You can see the numbers there. Just 2 2/3 innings, 6 walks to go along with 6 strikeouts. They gave up 5 runs. 4 of those were earned. But we saw a lot of this.
Yeah.
Right? Just the kind of animated, overreacting, seeming bothered. That's a great job by Josh Young. That's a perfect time to call timeout. Right? You got them all worked up, get on the mound, get locked in, and then make them stop.
Sandoval now a little perturbed as he'll make his way back up to the top of the hill. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Young. He's already invested quite a few pitches in the inning. The payoff, and a bouncer toward third, or rather shortstop. They'll get the 1 out there, and the relay to first in time for the double play. And they waited it out, and they got Young. 6-4-3 twin killing, and the Rangers go quietly in the first. John Gray now ready to go to work. Is presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, and by Baylor Scott & White Health, changing healthcare for the better. A beautiful evening out here on the West Coast. We are down in Anaheim, Southern California. Rangers and Angels. The Angels 70 wins, 86 losses, and this will be the final week in what has been a long season for them. 17.5 back of the Rangers. And we're going to see a lot of rookies today in this lineup. Nolan Shonowell, the first baseman, leads it off. Zach Neto at shortstop, and then Brandon Drury, the DH. Mustakis, Ohapi, Grichuk in the middle. Joe Adell will be in center field, Walsh in right, and Stefanik, the second baseman, bats ninth.
Yeah, this kid's been pretty interesting. He was drafted this year, and he's getting his opportunity in the big leagues, and he's been pretty good for the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, he's been very good. First pitch swinging, and he fouls out off his foot. And that's what I'm talking about when guys go down and it's a little more pain. He is smart. And this is pretty rare where you see a guy in this much pain after a foul ball, but that one really bothered him.
He's grabbing that left knee.
Wow.
And that is significant pain for Shonowell. It should be unfortunate. He's been a really good story. Not a lot going right here in Anaheim for the Angels, but he has been really good. Drafted out of Florida Atlantic. Let's take a look at this. Foul ball. Yeesh.
Right off the top of the knee. Outside top of the knee.
Wow.
I mean, really just redirected to the top of the knee.
He is in significant pain, and that is unfortunate.
Well, there's almost like, it hasn't happened to me for years, but like as a kid, you get hit in the funny bone in the elbow, and you get that like crazy sting of the nerve. You can do that with your knees too, and it's the only two places where I've ever had that odd reaction to getting, you know, just to bumping it or having it struck by something. But I'm almost wondering if that's what's happened here. Immediately his reaction was like horrific pain, but it could be just like a little stinger or something here that he'll be okay. Yeah, he's going to be all right.
Wow. I'd like to see maybe John Gray throw a pitch or two, right? As he kind of stood there, and you have to watch that, and you certainly give him plenty of time to get ready. And you know, Phil Nevin in that position where he wants to be smart as well. Again, this kid was just drafted this year. He's swinging a really good bat and playing first base for them. Getting on base, hasn't shown a lot of power just yet. The one home run, but they have a good one.
Well, he's okay. He's even smiling about it a little bit here. That one took him down. That hurt. But all is well. And so now Gray comes at him, and Shonowell hits it hard out to right field, and that drops down and will roll up against the wall. Shonowell with a double, the third of his major league career.
A pretty impressive bounce back compared to where he was about 2 minutes ago. And this is a changeup, and you can see Jonah Heim reaching back over the plate. They want this pitch away from him. And you can see the way that he is running, that knee is just fine.
So that's 27 games now to start his career in which he has reached base safely. And he's kind of getting into some historic territory with that on base streak. And it's now Neto takes strike one. Zach Neto, talented young shortstop. We're broadcasting today's game from the airport, where you can hear our departing flight information being announced behind us. This one just misses high.
I'd like to go to the PA speakers convention or press box announcer convention and present something on
inside voice back there.
Brevity.
Yeah, I mean,
here's how you get to the point quickly.
Geez. Neto lofts this one out into short right field, playable for Garcia, and there is the first out of the inning. The other thing about that is, like, I have no idea what he said. I mean, it's not that helpful.
I heard a little bit of it. He was talking about the on-base streak. Would you say 27 now?
Yeah.
And so 4th on the all-time list, I believe that's what they were talking about. And then they got it all out there, and then they just repeated it again for those of you who are not listening.
It worked well. I didn't get it the second time either. All right. Shonowell at second, one out, and here is Drury DHing today. And swings right through strike one. Drury, 31 years old, and you got a roster full of a lot of young players or players who just haven't had an opportunity to amass a whole lot in terms of games played at bats this year. Drury, one of the guys who's had significant time. And he comes up empty. It's 0-2.
There's that good slider from Jon Gray. That'll be key here. We know that he had made that adjustment. We talked about it a lot over the course of this season. In May, kind of going to what we call his old slider, the harder one. But he's run into some issues here lately with that and both the fastball. But if he can have that good version, he'll be in good shape for tonight.
He's worked himself ahead 0-2 here on Drury. And now the pitch. And that's pulled foul. Drury signed a 2-year deal in the offseason to be here in Los Angeles. That was back in December. He, in the previous season, accomplished something that I don't think had ever been done before, right? That was a Silver Slugger for a utility player. This was just the first year that baseball decided to hand one of those out, and he got it. 2-strike pitch, and that is strike 3 called. So Drury down looking, 2 away.
Yeah, good pitch here. We talk about the slider and how important it is. How about the velocity, though, on this one? That is 91 miles an hour at the very bottom of the strike zone. Let's go ahead and get to our Daspit Law Firm starting pitching numbers for Jon Gray. This will be now his 29th start on the season. You can see a pretty good 257 batting average against for Jon Gray. 21 home runs allowed this season.
Works to Mike Moustakas. And his first pitch is taken low for a ball. That's a curveball that time. Moustakas, one of 3 lefties in the lineup today for Phil Nevin and the Angels. He'll start at third base tonight, and he'll take off the plate. It's 2-0. Moustakas grew up here in Southern California. Not far from here, about 60 miles or 4 hours by car. 2-0 pitch, and that is a strike. 2-1 to Chatsworth High School locally. And then, of course, most people know Mike Moustakas as a member of the Kansas City Royals. He was the 2nd overall pick back in 2007. It's now his 13th year in the big leagues. Fouls it away. 2-2.
He's done a nice job of hanging in there. He's dealt with some injuries toward the back end of his career. You mentioned, of course, all those years in Kansas City where he really made a name for himself. But after leaving Kansas City and bouncing around a little bit, Milwaukee, and then he signed a pretty big deal with the Cincinnati Reds. It did not work out well at all for him. Ended up with the Colorado Rockies this year. Now finds himself here in his age 34 season. He just turned 35 in Anaheim.
Foul ball keeps the count 2-2. So the Rangers went scoreless in the top of the first. Jon Gray trying to make it a scoreless bottom of the first. Jon, 31 years old, and this is his 2nd year in a Rangers uniform. Signed a 4-year deal a couple of off seasons ago. Former ace of the Rockies. And he strikes out Moustakas. Back-to-back Ks in the first inning. Nice job by Jon Gray, and a scoreless game takes us to the 2nd. Garcia, Garver, and Lowe coming up.
Top 2, no score here between the Rangers and the Angels, the opener of this 3-game series. And just the same as yesterday, still no word on who will start tomorrow for Texas. as expected, a lot depends on how the bullpen is used here tonight. A number of options for Bruce Bochy, but they want to get through this one before they name that starter for tomorrow. In the finale of this 3-gamer, it will be Dane Dunning. We do know that for sure.
Yeah, feels like to me, just 100% pure speculation, that if Cody Bradford doesn't throw in this game tonight, that it could be better.
There's a shot out to center field, and a diving catch made out there by Joe Adell. Garcia thought he might sneak one in for a hit. Instead, a dazzling defensive play for the first out of the inning.
And Joe Adell getting an opportunity in center field with Mike Trout on the IL and done for the season. And this is a really nice play. We've seen Joe Adell go up and down over the last couple of years for the Angels, and much has been made about his defense since he has been back and activated this season with the Angels.
That was nicely done. So with one out, here is Mitch Garver. Garver DHing today, batting 6th in the order. 18 homers, 49 RBIs for Mitch. He's got a little 4-game hitting streak going right now. Of course, some power mixed in there. He has been a huge lift for this Rangers offense, really in the second half, but certainly in this last most critical month of the season. It's hard to imagine, frankly, how this team really would have fared without Mitch. 2-0. That's off the plate. And of course, the path that Garver took to get to this point is what I don't think anyone could have predicted or expected. He was, well, the Rangers got him in the trade with Minnesota. We expected him to be the everyday catcher, and he was until he started getting hurt.
A lot of twists and turns these last 2 years for the Rangers in the catching position. Now it's worked out well, and they're in a really nice spot now with Jonah Heim taking the bulk of the duties. But yeah, the Mitch Garver part of that has been fascinating.
And there's another base hit for Garver as he shoots it right back up the middle. And the Rangers have a base runner in the second.
Now he's locked in right now, and for Mitch Garver squaring this one at 103 off the bat, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Sandoval. After he fell behind, he threw the 3-0 fastball, comes back again at 3-1, and Mitch Garver was right on time.
So he's aboard now. Nathaniel Lowe, who's dropped all the way to 7th in the lineup today, and he takes outside ball 1. And the reason for that, for Lowe, left-handed starter out there, and Bruce Bochy has shown this in the second half mostly, that against lefties he's going to put Lowe a little further down the line, and that's lifted down the line. Grichuk going back into that corner, and he'll make the catch. Lowe gave it a pretty good ride, but for a long, loud out. 2 away.
Yeah, he certainly did. Off the bat, you wondered whether or not this may have had a chance. Now, for Sandoval, he's only allowed 1 home run to a lefty all season long, but there is Nathaniel going to the opposite field. I think even for a second, he thought maybe this one had a chance to get out of here, but it dies at the track.
Jonah Heim now, who was 0 for 4 yesterday with a strikeout. Jonah batting 8th tonight, and he swings right through that one. Strike 1.
It's a couple times now that for Sandoval where he's gone with the first pitch changeup. It's always an interesting conversation in baseball about that, and saying, well, first pitch changeup, what are you changing up from? But I actually like that as a first pitch, especially from a lefty to right-handed hitters.
Yeah, I think the notion, to your point, right, that, and people do say it, right? Well, what do you change it up from? Well, if you follow it back up with a fastball, it's the exact same concept.
Yeah.
You're just trying to throw off that timing. 1-1. Strike 2 on Jonah.
And that was the slider from Sandoval, and that one just took off out of the hands of Jonah Heim. You can see him kind of working hard to get the barrel in. Excuse me, hands in to get the barrel to the baseball, but that one was really far in. But I specifically remember Buddy Bell. I had him as manager in '96. Really frustrated me and Brad Ausmus, almost yelling in the dugout about a first pitch change. What are you changing up from? Like exactly kind of like you were saying.
Yeah.
But if you have one that has some really good movement, like you said, the way he plays off the fastball, to me, it's the same as pitching backwards with a breaking ball early.
Right. 1-2, and Heim gets a piece of it. That is pretty old school thinking, though, right? I mean, that's just. I don't think that conversation happens quite as often today. I think that it's the type of thing that guys would design to do, and pitching coaches and managers might be a little more in favor of it.
And all your data to back it up, right? They can tell you how things have gone.
1-2 pitch, and that's high.
And again, for me, an aggressive hitter, somebody that you know is aggressive early in the count, I like that pitch a lot. If a hitter's going to be patient, like to Robbie Grossman, maybe not as much, right? Knowing he's going to be really patient, you're going to have to be in the zone with it. Good first pitch swingers, good fastball hitters, yes, I like it.
Garver's still at first with 2 out. Sandoval's 2-2 pitch, and that's fouled away.
It's really close to being a pitch clock violation.
Which is amazing because with the runner on, he has the full 20 seconds, but he is very deliberate. And it's amazing to me this early in the game. We saw it last inning, how annoyed he can look. And Sandoval gets it all the way down to 2 seconds this time. This is in with a breaking ball, and it's a full count. I mean, his body language is beautiful. That we mentioned earlier the start he made against the Rangers earlier this year when he went 2 2/3 innings. That was his shortest start of the season. Again with the long hold and the payoff. That's low, ball 4. So second walk he's issued today, both times. Nope, never mind. That's a second walk. I was going to say both times came with 2 outs, but that's not true. Grossman walked with 1 out last inning.
I wonder if there would be a strategy here for the hitters, right? Knowing that you have a guy in Patrick Sandoval who might get on the mound 13 seconds, but he seems like he's holding it to the very end, right? We know the hitters don't have to get in until, what, the 8-second mark. And so you may not want to get in too early against him, right? Like here's Leody with 15 seconds. He may hold for a while, which I think is a real challenge for a hitter.
This time he fires a fastball right in there for a strike to Taveras. Now the sun has set tonight out here on the coast, and off in the distance a little hazy it looks like as a 1-strike pitch misses way in, and the runners will move up. A wild pitch.
Well, just the 5th wild pitch of the season for Patrick Sandoval. This is a slider that goes into the dirt there, and you can see O'Hoppe. It's interesting, he left that left knee up. Did not get all the way down. Almost seemed unnecessary that he would do that instead of just getting down on both knees and getting lower. He did not get low enough to block that baseball.
So 1-1 the count. Stakas in tied at third. And this ball hit hard out to right field. Walsh is back though, and he appears to have room out there. He makes the catch. Rangers will leave a couple in scoring position. We've played an inning and a half tonight here in LA. No score.
Time now for our Choctaw Casinos and Resorts game within the game, and taking a look at this season series so far between the Texas Rangers and the Los Angeles Angels. 5-5 so far through the 10 games. But how about a couple of the big games that the Rangers had where they had scored 10 or more runs 3 times against this team? You can see the batting average, total runs scored, OPS offensively certainly has been good for the Rangers. But again, just that 5-5 record so far.
Well, they'll get O'Hoppe, Grichuk, and Adele in this second inning. And the first pitch Hit high in the air, deep out to right center, and that one is gone. Logan O'Hoppe, rookie catcher, just hit his 13th home run of the year, and the Angels score first tonight. It's 1-0.
Well, that first time he's ever faced John Gray, and the first pitch he sees is a fastball, and he is all over it. And he's been an interesting guy for sure, missing some significant time with an injury earlier. But this is what he does well behind the plate. Hasn't hit for average, doesn't get on base very much. That is now his 13th home run in his 46 games played this year.
So now Randall Grichuk. Grichuk with a start in left field tonight. And he will take on the outside corner for a strike. Angels score first this evening. Rangers coming off a huge homestand and a sweep of Seattle over the weekend. I mean, it was just a wild scene. Taking all three from a team with whom they were tied going into the weekend. All while Houston was being swept at home by Kansas City over the weekend, and so it just had this wildly dramatic effect on the standings. The Rangers start this road trip with a 2.5 game lead in the division, flying high. But you cannot overlook these games against the Angels. 2-2 pitch, and that's hit hard out into center field, but that's not going to carry as Taveras tracks it down. One away.
How about this? So this is now the first time since Wednesday in the second inning that the Rangers trailed in a game.
Yeah.
They did not trail the entire series against the Seattle Mariners. They had off on Thursday. If you remember, the Red Sox jumped out to a 4-0 lead in that final game of the series, and then the offense just went off a 15-5 final for the Rangers. So it has been a while.
Yeah, actually there was a brief moment yesterday.
They were down?
Yeah, down 2-1 heading to the bottom of the third inning yesterday.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, whoever tweeted that out earlier today, I'm going to have to.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Happens. It's probably me. 1-1. Or rather 0-2 to Joe Adell.
Stick to doing my own research, Dave.
Yeah. Always a good rule.
Yeah.
Gray's 2-strike offering, and that's inside. Actually, I take that back. For some people, it is. I'd probably do well just to cheat off others' papers. 1-0. Angels with the lead. And Adell, this is just his 12th game now. And he hits this one softly to second base. Semien will throw him out. And there are 2 gone in the inning. This is where you get to that part of the order for the Angels where, you know, Adell has played in 11 games. Walsh coming to the bat now, 36 games this year. Stefanik, who will bat 9 today, 20 games. It has been a trying season here in Anaheim. And Gray finds the outside corner, strike 1 on Jared Walsh, an all-star first baseman just a couple of years ago. And then late last season, Walsh started dealing with those neurological issues. Just a real puzzle for him and his doctors and the Angels staff. I mean, he's dealing with a lot of fatigue, a lack of balance, tremors, insomnia. Bouncer down the first baseline foul. We had maybe the scariest part of all that was this. He had this lack of spatial awareness. So he was really having trouble with depth perception and that kind of stuff. That sounds to me like almost impossible to deal with as a baseball player. 1-2, and he strikes out swinging, chased the fastball, and that ends the inning. The Angels get that first run of the night on the home run. They lead 1-0, but Marcus Semien will lead it off for the Rangers when we come back. Baseball on Valley Sports is brought to you by your local DFW Kubota dealers. Together, we do more. Cool shot from out of the parking lot here at the Big A in Anaheim. Marcus Semien starting things off in the third inning, and he'll take ball one from Sandoval. Sandoval, a couple of scoreless innings so far today, despite a walk in each inning and a hit in each inning. And that is not a swing. Marcus held up. 2-0, according to Alex Tosi, our first base umpire. Todd Tichenor behind the plate calling balls and strikes, and he's also our crew chief. 2-0. That's right in there. Good fastball for strike one. Sandoval has one strikeout tonight. That'll leave the count at 2-2. The only guy he struck out was Marcus, and that was back in the first. Just exasperated. He's exasperated by just about everything.
He must be exhausted after every game, right? With the energy, both mental and physical, that he goes through in each start.
That one lined out to right field, coming on for Walsh. He'll go into a slide to make the catch. One gone here in the third inning.
A good play here in right field by Jared Walsh. He also made a nice play to end the last inning when Taveras hit a ball pretty hard. This one kind of a sinking line drive and another sliding play by an Angel outfielder. So Joe Adell make a nice diving play in center field earlier. So some defensive support, which he does not always get.
That is the understatement of the night. Congratulations, everybody who's watching along. You just heard it. Tonight's official understatement of the night. Brought to you by CJ. There's a swing and a miss. Nobody quite does bad luck and unearned runs like Sandoval. 7 wins, 13 losses this year, a 4.19 ERA, but that doesn't tell the story.
No, it doesn't. And, you never know. We've seen now where it's been more difficult to get errors called. But how about this? The most earned runs allowed in baseball this year. He's got a 10-run lead over Jameson Taillon. Now, 25 runs there for two Cubs starters will tell you about some of the defensive issues they're having on the north side of Chicago. But that's a big number, and not his last start, but the two before that. He had allowed 15 runs, only 5 were earned. So 10 unearned runs in 2 starts for Patrick Sandoval.
That is a big hang with him.
So
foul ball.
2 ways to look at it, right? So you have the error that happens behind you, and then it's, well, can you pick up your teammates? Can you do what's necessary to get the out, or maybe single unearned run scores? Can you stop the bleeding?
Right. I agree. There's a little part that's kind of on you at some point. 2-2 pitch, and that is a strike. He gets Seager looking 2 away.
This is on that slower slider that he throws at 84 miles an hour. Goes right down the middle. Yeah, right. You got 2 outs. Guy makes an error behind you, and then you let up 3 home runs in a row. Well, it's all unearned. It's 4 unearned runs, but certainly some of that is on you.
Grossman started after that one and stopped himself. Ball 1. Robbie walked on 4 pitches in the first inning. Rangers' third place hitter tonight. And Sandoval finds the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Sandoval, another guy from Southern California, Mission Viejo, 20 miles from here, and that is just a little bit outside. 2-1. He was drafted by Houston in 2015, 11th round selection. And then the Angels got him in a trade with the Astros. They sent Martin Maldonado to Houston. 2-1. And a swing and a miss. That'll even things up on Grossman. And I want to say Maldonado left. He played with Houston, then left, came back again. That was the first time I believe Maldonado was an Astro. 2-2 pitch. Oh my. And that is ball 3. And it doesn't take much for Sandoval. This would probably set a guy off.
Take a peek here at this breaking ball. It's that slower slider again, the sweeper. And that one looked like, yeah, might have caught the bottom of the zone.
Now the payoff. And he does miss with that one. And that's ball 4. And Sandoval really both were pretty close. Get a little agitated after something like that. A 2-out walk. Third of the night for the Rangers.
Second time he's walked Robbie Grossman. I'm with you. There were probably 3 borderline pitches in that at bat, but something worth again keeping in mind now when you're Patrick Sandoval and for John Gray that perhaps edges not getting called, especially what we've seen at the bottom of the zone. It's good information to have.
See if Young can take advantage for the Rangers here. Free base runner. And he fouls that one back out of play. I mean, it was a good at bat. It was a good plate appearance for Grossman. And that's a really good job getting on. And now, in some ways, you feel like you're gifted that runner. It's really only a gift if you could do something with it. Let's see if Josh has something in mind here. And he swings and misses on that one. 0-2. Certainly, Josh, a guy who can strike at any moment. 23 home runs in his rookie season. Just back on that last homestand after missing 37 games for that broken thumb. And Young, even though it took him a couple of days just to kind of get it back in order again, he had a nice homestand. 7 for 26 with a homer and a double. Check in at first. Third inning, very early on here. And Sandoval up over 50 pitches already for the night. Trying to get through this third. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Young. And he hits it hard in the air left. And Grichuk is there. The inning is over. Rangers leave a base runner, as they have in each of the first couple of innings. Bottom of the third coming up. It's 1-0.
Great night for baseball here at the Big A. Angels leading the Rangers 1-0 here in Anaheim. And we're talking about the Angels defense. Well, this Rangers defense has been so strong for this team. And Bruce Bochy, that's something that he stressed from spring training moving forward, that they wanted to win with pitching and defense, saying the offense was going to come and go, but they needed to play clean baseball. And that is what they have done the vast majority of the season. He talked about the confidence that it instills in these Rangers pitchers, that they don't have to miss bats all the time. They can trust that defense to make plays, the ordinary plays and also sometimes the extraordinary plays, which we've seen time and time again from this defense. But it has been so solid and so consistent all season long.
Yeah, it certainly has been. And I saw this today, kind of doing a little research on the defense. 14 fielding errors in the infield as a whole. It's the fewest in Major League Baseball. You can have your throwing errors and other things, but they've been great defensively. But the fewest fielding errors by the entire infield in all of baseball.
This one lined into right field by Stefanik. So the Angels' second baseman is on to begin the third inning. How about a word now from your local Chevrolet dealers?
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains or you can move them. Command your path, conquer the trails, and take on new challenges. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
Back to the top of the lineup now. Nolan Shonowell, and he fouls the first pitch straight back for a strike. He had the double in the first inning after fouling one off his knee.
Does his stance remind you of anybody?
Oh, let me take a look. By the way, pretty big kid. 6'4", 220. Oh, wow. He's got a little the Craig Counsell reach with the hands up above the head. And that's inside. 1-1.
I knew you'd get it.
He tilts the bat maybe a little more than Counsell did sometimes. Toward the end, I felt like Counsell's bat was almost perfectly vertical. This one is on the outside corner for a strike to Shawnuel.
Shawnuel's got 4 inches on Craig Counsell, listed at 6'4", counts under an even 6 foot.
Everybody okay?
I mean,
you got to get up out of these chairs real slowly.
Yeah, you do. They got like truck shocks in them or something.
That is strike 3 called. Shawnuel down looking for strikeouts now for Jon Gray, and Shawnuel voicing some displeasure as he looks out to the infield.
That's caught plenty of plate. This is a 90-mile-an-hour slider, and you see him backing away from it. The ball's not coming into him; it is going straight down. And there really wasn't anything that Jonah Heim had to do. That ball was in the zone. Now this is a kid who knows the strike zone well. He's done a really good job getting on base, taking his walks, more walks than strikeouts.
Zach Neto now takes low. Yeah, even with that strikeout, he still has 1 more walk than he does strikeouts. 18 walks to 17 strikeouts. Neto, a very promising young shortstop, and he swings and misses.
Yeah, we thought it was a big deal, right, that the Angels moved him along as quickly as they did. He was their first-round draft pick last year. Well, at least he got, almost a year in the minor leagues, where Shawnuel got a couple of weeks. Neto now kind of the salty veteran.
Yeah, 22 years old, and now 1-2 the count. In fact, Neto, how about that? 22 years old. This is his rookie season, and he's twice been on the injured list already. Missed 21 games with a left oblique strain. Suffered that in mid-June. Then missed another 33 games a little later with a lower back strain. And just returned mid-September. It's a guy who was at Campbell University a year ago. First overall pick in last year's draft. 13th, rather, overall pick. The first round pick for the Angels. Neto strikes out swinging. And now that's 5 strikeouts for Jon Gray.
And this is another slider from Jon Gray. And if you notice there, it's just that little toe tap that you get from Neto. Until he gets to 2 strikes, you get a really high leg kick. He tries to be a little bit shorter, and that has been part of his game. The swing and miss has been real for him. That is the 72nd time that he has struck out in 305 plate appearances.
So now the veteran Brandon Drury, and he takes off the plate. That's a 1-0 Angels lead tonight. Logan O'Hoppe with the homer last inning. Gray, though, has piled up the strikeouts early on. And that one is in there. That's a good slider. 1-1.
So you mentioned that Silver Slugger, right, for the utility player. Yeah. Did you see the new team Silver Slugger deal that Louisville Sluggers doing in Major League Baseball? So the Rangers are a nominee, but you have to vote.
Who votes?
You go on MLB.com right now and vote.
Well, I vote for the Rangers.
Yeah, me too, but I didn't want to fill the whole thing out.
High pop-up. Foul territory. And low. Uh-oh. A little miscommunication right there between Lowe and Heim. Lowe took it. And now everybody's afraid the teacher's going to yell at him.
No kidding, but everyone should be afraid of the Jon Gray slider tonight because it has been a good one. Shawnuel goes down, and then his rookie buddy, Zach Neto, chases one outside of the strike zone.
First pitch swinging, Adolis Garcia falls behind 0-1 here with the 4th inning. 1-0. Rangers trailing early on here tonight. And Sandoval right back to the plate, a little high with a fastball there. Rangers have been pretty patient tonight with Sandoval.
And with the exception of Adolis Garcia, right? He swung at the first pitch in his first at-bat, swung at the first pitch in that one. But for the most part, Robbie Grossman, Marcus Semien have each seen 10 pitches apiece, 2 plate appearances.
I will say, though, that the previous pitch here to Adolis, that fastball at 93, I mean, just maybe a ball's height above the top of the strike zone. So I like to see him hold off on those from time to time. The 2-1 in the dirt.
That's big for him, right? That is an area in which he will definitely chase. We know that. And you see that fastball come out of a pitcher's hand, and it looks like it's at the top of the zone. Just looks so good. You feel like you can get to it. And like so many hitters, that's one of the tougher pitches in the game to handle. And then you see that chase sometimes up above the zone, which pitchers love.
Oh boy, Sandoval spikes a couple to Garcia, walks him to open the 4th inning. He has issued a walk now in each of the first 4 innings of the game. Rangers in good start here, and we have a moment to hear from Jack in the Box.
My classic sourdough Jack. It's named after your 2 favorite things, sourdough and me. Only at Jack.
So they've had base runners, right? But this is the first time that they have had the leadoff runner on. If I'm looking at my scorecard right.
That one misses badly up. And Sandoval is going to get a visit here from the rookie O'Hoppe.
And he knows, right? He has seen this from him, even though he hasn't been active for most of the season. He knows his pitcher. We've seen it enough. We have talked about it where things can get away from him. He's got kind of that runaway train thing going a little bit. He hasn't been able to get very deep in games. 5 innings exactly in each of his last 3 starts, and he's given up 17 runs in those 3 starts.
Dolly's over at first. He does have good speed. Not much of a lead at the moment. Sandoval to the plate, 1-0. That is in there for a strike.
7 stolen bases against Patrick Sandoval, 7 for 10 for base stealers. Now, O'Hoppe has struggled. He's thrown out just 5 of 34. That's a 15% caught stealing rate for him. League average is around 20%.
Two and 1. Carver had the base hit in the 2nd inning. No runs, 2 hits early on here for the Rangers. They have left 4 already, though. Sandoval's 2-1, and that's high again, and that's where he keeps missing. Well, one of the places he's missed.
I think it's fair with the fastball. He certainly has missed up. We've seen him spike a couple of the breakables. There's been a couple of pitches where he's thrown them and doesn't feel like he's finishing them. His momentum almost seems to be coming back toward the rubber.
No one catches a corner. Those misses up, they're not that far out, right? They're maybe a ball or 2 above the zone. And 3 weeks ago, I think just about everybody who's laid off one tonight was swinging at those.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But they've been really good tonight with that pitch. 3-2, and there it is again. He's trying for that same spot. He's successfully getting it there, but he just cannot tempt these Rangers hitters.
Now that looks like he must be in some pain. For him to walk that far away from the mound after throwing a pitch, and the trainer is coming with him. Phil Nevin jumped out right away. Remember, was that the first inning that we saw that from him, a reaction on a pitch? And you wonder, was it back oblique or was he just being emotional? But there's obviously something going on here. And I'll tell you this too, watching his follow through, right? So as a left-handed pitcher, he's pushing off with his left leg. The right leg is the plant leg. And then that left leg would come all the way around. And look where it finishes after his pitches here. Watch his left foot all the way around as opposed to kind of finishing more squared up. And you could see him dealing with pain. He must have felt something early. And he's been trying to battle through it.
Yeah, and he was kind of poking at his right oblique or side while they were out there looking at him, and you can see the exclamation there. Not happy and not feeling well, and he is done. So after back-to-back walks to start the inning, he'll come off. Carlos Estevez.
What?
Or no?
No,
it'll be Suarez.
Yeah.
It'll be Suarez who will be coming on here. So Suarez will have all the time he needs to get ready here in the 4th. It's 1-0. Bally Sports is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts and Jexa Energy. Get more free electricity every weekend with Jexa Energy. Well, it's a gorgeous evening here at the Big A in Anaheim. 1-0 Angels on top in the fourth. Rangers had the first 2 men on. Garcia and Garver both walked to open the inning. And so after the injury to Patrick Sandoval, we will now wait for Jose Suarez to tell us that he's ready. And he looks like right now he's just kind of right. He's just tossing still.
Well, he is, because he's usually a starter. He has missed some time this year. Now, his last appearance was a start for the Angels, and that was on the 22nd, so just a couple of days rest in between. Now, he only lasted an inning and 2/3 against the Minnesota Twins. He's got a little left-handed Bartolo Colon thing going out there. Of course, Bartolo played here for the Angels, and so same uniform, same kind of look there, a little bit younger than Bartolo, who I think, by the way, just officially retired this year.
He did.
Not that long ago. Finally, shutting it down at, I believe, 50,000 years old, or whatever it was. But, yeah, this is interesting. I guess he is ready, Dave.
That was wild, right?
A low-intensity warm-up.
Right, there's no, like, real hard throwing right there. Max effort type stuff, so, okay.
It's SoCal, baby.
Hey, just get the blood flowing a little bit and ease into it here. So we'll see what he's got.
It's a guy that we're kind of banking on this year in the rotation, and the number's not great for Suarez with that ERA over 9. But again, not a lot of innings pitched, just 28 2/3.
There he goes. He inherits a couple of runners, and his first offering is off the plate to Nathaniel Lowe. There's Garcia at second base. Mitch Garver, the runner at first. Still very early on here tonight. Even though I'm sure it feels late to most of you watching back home. Old West Coast baseball. It feels like it's been a while. But here we are. And these are all night games in this series against the Angels. So all late nights for folks back home. The Rangers trying to finish this thing off strong. Fly ball, right field. Long run to Walsh. Leans out and makes the catch. Runners both tag. But it'll only be Garcia moving up to third, as Garver has to retreat. Fly out by Lowe, one away.
It looked like Nathaniel Lowe put a charge in this one. He's had a couple of really good swings here tonight. Even though he might have been out front, he got the barrel to it. But unfortunately, not quite enough carry. And another nice defensive play in the outfield by the Angels tonight. Second one for Walsh. And you're right, both guys tag up, and then you kind of watch the throw there when you're over at first base for Mitch Garver in case it was going to third. But not an opportunity for him to get to second.
All right, first pitch swinging, and this one's hammered down the right side, foul by Heim. Jonah walked in the second, and he takes outside here. 1-1. Rangers offense that has really been churning lately at home. Now, a lot of right-handed starters, so a slightly different configuration of the lineup lately that has been so hot. They're trying to see if they can get it going here on the road. 1-2 on Jonah. I feel like the quality of at-bats tonight has been right there with what we were seeing at home. But it's got to start producing some runs. 1-2, and that is up the middle line right to Stefanik. Wow. 2 away.
He hit it hard. It was off the changeup from Suarez, and right back up the middle at 100 miles an hour. But perfect alignment for this Angels defense. Stefanik is right there. That is unfortunate. Suarez missed 4 months with the left shoulder strain. Again, he was supposed to be a big part of this deep rotation with all the left-handers that they have had. He was activated and first pitched on September 13th. And finds himself in the bullpen.
Taveras, the hitter, and he takes strike 1. Leote 0 for 1. Yeah, Suarez last Friday made a start as the opener. That is inside. 1-1. So he went an inning and 2/3. He's been in the pin, as CJ mentioned. But the opener start that he had on Friday, that was his first since May 7th, a game he started against the Rangers. Now here he's going to have to gobble up some innings anyway. The 1-1 pitch, that is low and in.
He was good for them last year. 20 starts. He had a couple games out of the bullpen as well, but an ERA in the high 3s. Gave them 109 innings. Really good walk rate. He's always been a guy that's filled up the strike zone.
He had a perfect game into the 6th inning last year against Seattle at one point. And that one runs in tight. Ball 3. He's from Venezuela, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of the town.
I could tell something.
Yeah, there was that little hesitation. That was a little hezzy move in the paint there, because 3-1. Chopper shortstop, and they'll go the short way to force out Garver. The inning is done. So back-to-back walks to open the inning, and the Rangers can't cash them in. It'll be up to Jon Gray to keep posting some zeros on the other side. It's a 1-0 game in Anaheim. All right, well, you can stream every out-of-market game live or on demand this year, as well as all minor league games, such that there aren't any left. You go to MLB.tv to get all the details. Bottom of the 4th inning in Anaheim. Heart of the order coming for the Angels. Moustakas, O'Hoppe, and Grichuk. And Gray deals off the plate. Ball 1. 5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings for Gray. Stuff's been pretty good tonight. And almost got Moustakas to offer.
He's had that really good velocity that we note from him at times, where he can sit at 96, 97 miles an hour. We've seen some really good sliders at high velocity as well. And so far, it's looking like a better bounce back here for Jon Gray.
High in the air. A lazy fly ball out there for Taveras. Some good communication going on out there. One away. Garcia was content to watch. Here comes O'Hoppe. We check in with Emily.
Well, we were talking with Bruce Bochy about Jon Gray's, been a little bit up and down, and it seems like Boch said it's been just that one big inning that seems to get him. And so you wondered how he would handle that home run that he gave up in the second, but he looks to be settling in nicely. He's like, look, he's got the stuff. He's just got to trust it, stay away from that one big inning. We would love to get a good one, obviously, from him tonight. That goes without saying.
Yeah, and it's really important, I think, for veteran pitchers. You don't make it deep into a career as a starting pitcher unless you know how to handle and stay away from the potential big innings. And it's a good point, right? A leadoff home run in the second, and then he goes 1, 2, 3.
Well, I was confused by the whole thing because I thought the beginning's been really good. It was just later on there'd be an inning that would get away from him. But I thought the beginning.
I see what you're saying.
It's been fine.
The big inning.
Oh. This one lined out to center, and that is a base hit for O'Hoppe. So O'Hoppe has a certain level of comfort, it appears, against Gray. As that ball hit 102 miles per hour.
Well, this is the slider from Jon Gray. Let's take a look at the location here. His slider has a tendency to go straight down. That one stayed up, though, and about belt high for O'Hoppe.
So Randal Grichuk, who flew out to center field, he swings and misses. Strike 1. That was kind of funny right there. That's by Grichuk. It looks like he saw a different pitch coming his way than the one that was actually on the way.
It seemed like he was hunting a fastball, gearing himself up for 96 or 97. And instead he got a slider below the zone and couldn't stop his swing.
And this one hit high in the air, center field. Taveras on the way over to make the play on that, and there are 2 away. We'll slide over now for Academy Sports and Outdoors. Well, 2 away. Joe Adell hit a soft ground ball in the second inning. Swings right through this one. Strike one. Adell with 3 homers and 6 RBIs in just 11 games played so far this year. Another first-round pick by the Angels back in 2017. And he takes off the plate. He's from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. He went to Ballard High School. And the Angels used the 10th overall pick in 2017 to grab him. Kind of a star-crossed career in his early days so far with the Angels. When Joe Maddon brought him up initially, and Joe Maddon himself would go out and work with him before ball games, just in hopes of easing him in and getting him to where he needed to be. And it just seemed like it was maybe a little too much too soon for Joe Adell.
He's still only 24 years old. He had 24 home runs in 74 games in AAA. Now it's Salt Lake City, and it's a really good place to hit. We talk about that PCL a lot. It's a great hitters league, but still impressive numbers for him, and still plenty of time to get his career going.
In the dirt, 2-2 on Adell. Well, Hoppy at first base, catcher, hasn't shown a real interest in running this year. The 2-2 pitch. Uh-oh. That got a little close. Full count. 96 miles per hour with that fastball.
You can see where Jonah Heim is set up. They wanted one in and probably closer to belt high, and this one just gets away from John Gray. Now we'll see what he wants to do and bounce back here in a 3-2 count. Certainly wants to be in the zone.
Maybe that good slider. Runner goes, and there is strike 3 called, and it was the slider. Adell, the 6th strikeout of the night for John Gray. We are back for the 5th inning tonight, brought to you by Audi. There it is, the orange circle, as it is known, down in these here parts, not too far from Chapman. And yeah, listen, there are a lot of great spots in town here. Chapman University, I should point out. They produced a handful of decent graduates, including our own JR. John didn't want the love. All right, the 1-strike pitch, and there is strike 2 to Marcus Semien. Semien struck out in the first inning, and he flew out in the third, 0 for 2. And Suarez very high. The Rangers have had plenty of base runners. They've left 6 men on base in the first 4 innings. And Semien got underneath this one. Pop up near shortstop. And that'll be playable for Neto. 1 away. And it's time to hear from Baylor's Scott and White Health.
Doc says you're good.
All right, first pitch just off the plate to Seager. Seager is 1 for 2. And he's out in front of that one. The sweeper that time from Suarez. A ball and a strike.
You're giving JR a hard time, but I thought he brought up a really good point before the game. Corey Seager never having a 100 RBI season. A little bit surprising if you track his career that closely. Think about how good of a hitter he has been going back to the Dodger days, and now a couple of years here in with the Rangers, but knocking on the door right now.
Well, big swing, but this one not going to go very deep. And pulled in by Stefanik, the second baseman, 2 away. Now Robbie Grossman, a 1-0 game here in Anaheim. So this Rangers offense that had been doing so well back at home has been quieted here early in LA. Meanwhile, Houston and Seattle, one of the other big games today. And it's out here on the coast, up north of us in Seattle. The Astros blanking the Mariners 5-0. Houston coming off kind of a gut punch weekend sweep by Kansas City. Of course, Seattle, as Rangers fans know, they headed home after what was kind of a stunning sweep by the Rangers over Seattle this weekend in Arlington. But it's Houston who has responded today with that 5-0 lead. 1-2 on Robbie Grossman. And that's just a little bit wide. Rangers keeping track of what's going on in that series. There's no doubt guys' eyes probably wander up to the scoreboard and get periodic updates. But really, the Rangers, they don't have to worry about it. They just take care of their own business. Grossman in the air out to right, and Walsh tucks it away. First time tonight with the Rangers, and for that matter, anyone has gone 1-2-3 in an inning. We are back for the bottom of the 5th inning, brought to you by Audi here in Anaheim, where the Angels currently lead the Rangers 1-0. John Gray's pitching well, though, tonight.
Yeah, he's looking good so far. Outside of that solo home run, this is what the Rangers wanted to see, kind of some of that vintage John Gray that we saw earlier this year. The time of when they need it. I mean, quite honestly, they need all the pitchers to do well here down the stretch. We're starting to see it out of the bullpen a little bit. A really strong outing from John Gray with a good pitch count here so far as we go into the bottom of the 5th inning is certainly good to see.
Struck out Walsh in the 2nd inning. And he puts that one right on the outside corner. 1-1. Walsh, Stefanik, and Shonowell in this 5th inning. And that's a high pop-up. Way up there. It will come down. Gravity still undefeated. Walsh retired, 1 away.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our AT&T Fiber fast pitch, and we see these pitchers doing well here tonight, even though Patrick Sandoval had to leave early. How about John Gray with his 6 strikeouts tonight and just 7 in his previous 3 starts? And so we're seeing, again, that good version of John Gray's done a nice job getting a couple of these strikeouts called against the Angels here. So 2 of them on 97-mile-an-hour fastballs, and then the other 4 have come on the slider.
Well, one difference tonight versus those previous 3 starts. Stefanik fouls that one away, 1-1. Is that Gray is through 4 innings tonight. He did not get through the 4th inning in any of his previous 3 starts, which is highly unusual for him. 1-1, and this is on the ground and just past Semien. So Stefanik has his 2nd hit of the game.
And this is off the slider from John Gray, and a hard ground ball hit to the right side. You can see Marcus Semien is playing a little bit further up the middle, and that one just out of his reach. Close. That's a tweener too, right? Whether or not you want to slide and get it or go with that full extension layout. Marcus decided to kind of slide, and it's just a little bit short.
So Shonowell takes low. Ball 1. And going back to what Emily said last inning about John Gray, and how Boch said, you know, it's just kind of like 1 inning. It seems like it's been 1 big inning that undoes what is otherwise a pretty good night for him. He also pointed out, he said, you know, the stuff, you just look at the stuff the last handful of starts, whether it's the big fastball in the upper 90s or the hard biting slider, it's been there. The stuff has been good.
It's been kind of crazy, actually, when you look at his last 6 starts. He's been up over 96 miles an hour on his average fastball. He did not have a run like that at all during the season up until these last few. He'd be sitting at 95, 94. I mean, this is the average fastball velocity throughout the game. So it's not about fatigue. We're seeing that with other pitchers around the league. dealing with some fatigue at this time of year. That's not it for Jon Gray.
So 3 balls and a strike now on Shawnuel. So largely it has to be just a matter of focus, which is also one of the points Bochy made, right? Just make sure you keep that mental edge. Stefanik off first, and he got a good jump. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second, a good one, and they got him. Stefanik gunned down for the second out of the inning.
Well, it looked like Jonah Heim got rid of that ball really, really quickly, because you mentioned it, a pretty decent jump here from Stefanik. But look how quickly Jonah Heim fires this ball in the air down to Corey Seager. And Jonah continues to do great work behind the plate for the Rangers. That is now the 24th base stealer he has thrown out.
Well, Shawnuel stays alive, 3-2. That's a big defensive play right there by the Rangers backstop. Boy, has he been good. He took a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, turned it right back about 95 miles an hour, headed to second. I don't know how hard he threw it, but that was crisp. Three-2. Another foul ball by the young man.
You think this guy lets it travel? Think about those last couple of foul balls that he has just hit, especially not that last one, the last one, but even the one before that. Like, he had kind of a line drive that basically went over the on-deck circle. Well, the ball's got to be deep, for that to happen. He definitely lets it travel, and you can see why he's been a good hitter. Kind of using the whole field.
Let's that travel in for strike 3 called. Second time tonight he's gone down looking, and that's 7 strikeouts for Gray.
And last time it was on a slider, and here it is once again on the slider. Outer half here for Jon Gray, finishing off the young rookie once again.
Bally Sports is brought to you by Daspit Law, helping injured Texans. 5 innings in tonight. So now to the 6th. Rangers offense is yet to really show up yet. And they're going to see an old friend, Jimmy Herget, here in the 6th inning.
28th game of the season for the former Ranger, and a guy that leads with his breaking stuff. 39% curveball usage, 31% slider usage. And for the fastball, you see it just about 23% of the time. So a lot of off-speed pitches from a low arm angle sidewinder, if you will, and no goggles.
That's what I was going to say. Yep, he lost the goggles. To check in on that tomorrow with him. Old Jimmy Stirrups, and he deals outside. Ball 1 on Young. That is some high-level stirrup play right there by Herget, and that's fouled off. 1-1 on Josh. Young has reached on a fielder's choice. He's flied out to left field. And he'll take a strike here. 1-2 the count.
We saw him in back-to-back games in June against the Rangers when the Angels were in Arlington, June 13th and 14th. And in that second game, he ran into some trouble. A game that the Rangers went on to win 6-3. He took the loss. He gave up 3 runs and a couple of homers. I'd like to see a little bit more of that tonight.
I'm a little confused by one thing with Herget. I'd like to see if you can sleuth this one out for me, as this one's popped up. There's second base. And Stefanik tucks it away, and that is out number 1. All right, how about a look at our Ford leaderboard with Garcia coming up here. Only 4 American League players with 100 runs and 90 or more RBIs this year. Rangers have 2 of them. Ohtani pictured, but not in uniform, not playing tonight. And Julio Rodriguez the other. Anyway, here's ball 1 to Garcia. Herget, when he was called up from AAA Salt Lake on September 1st, that makes this the 6th stint this year with the Angels. And this ball's hammered deep out to right. It is gone. Garcia ties the game with a solo shot here in the 6th. And it's 1-1.
And that is opposite field power from Adolis Garcia. Once again, we've seen this so often from him. Get a little bit later in the game, just a one-run game with the Rangers trailing, and Garcia comes through. This is on the two-seam fastball, the sinker. They're trying to get it in. They leave it over the plate. That allows Garcia to get those big arms extended and drive it out to right field. And he knew it when he hit it. Got maybe a little scared there for a second. The ball doesn't carry here as well at night, but clear defense by plenty.
So, new game. And now Mitch Garver, who's been on twice. That one is a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Garver. Well, that is one of the things about this Rangers team. Up and down the lineup. And pretty much everybody in that lineup can get to you with a home run. A lot of power on this team. And here's ball 2.
I mentioned the 2 home runs that he allowed to the Rangers in taking a loss back on June 14th. It was back-to-back homers, Semien and Seager. So the Rangers can pull that trick again. So what happened with Jimmy? He got called up on the 4th, you said?
Well, yeah, no. So he got called up on the 1st, and that marked his 6th stint of the year with the Angels. And I guess my question with that is, I thought we had now limited the number of times that you can.
To 5, right? But if you started the season with the team, that wouldn't have counted as 1.
Oh, I get you. There's a swing. High fly ball. Could be trouble. Gone! It's off the pole. And the Rangers do go back to back. It's 2-1.
The odds of that happening twice in a season. You face a team as a reliever. This is what? Just his 28th game of the year. And back-to-back home runs against your former team to give up the lead.
It's pretty wild.
It's a curveball here, but it didn't do very much at all. And for Mitch Garver, as he is watching this baseball go down the line, he is just doing his best to try to keep it fair, and it was fair by a pretty decent amount.
So Nathaniel Lowe, he'll foul off strike 1. 16 home runs in the last 7 games for the Rangers. Heck, they have 8 home runs in the last game and a half. That is outside. 1-1 to Nathaniel. This ball hit hard. That one out to right. That could be trouble. That one's gone! 3 straight home runs for the Rangers. 17th of the year for Lowe. And things have turned quickly here in the 6th inning.
That was an absolute rocket off the bat of Nathaniel Lowe at 107 miles an hour against the Jimmy Herget slider. And the Rangers doing what they do best, and that is hitting the long ball. Look at this pitch. They wanted it away. Finishes middle in. And the dugout excited. Nobody more so than Austin Hedges.
It's hard to be more excited than Austin Hedges. So the Rangers now 226 home runs to lead the league, and they have passed the Angels tonight. Jonah Heim high in the air, left side heading foul, and that is a long strike. 1-1 to count. Well, they brought out the big bats in the 6th inning against Jimmy Herget. Garcia, Garver, Lowe, and Jonah Heim blasts that down to first. Nice grab by Shanoa, and that is the 2nd out of the inning.
This ball hit pretty hard as well. 98 off the bat. It's a changeup. And you can see Shonwell is in a perfect position, kind of dive a little bit there to his left, but a nice play on a well-struck ball.
So the rookie makes a nice defensive play, and now here is Taveras. And he'll take right on the outside corner for a strike. 3-1. Rangers with the lead. Sounds like there's another delay in that flight. Hopefully they'll get everybody figured out.
I think it was a crew timeout.
This is a fly ball left field, and Grichuk will make the catch. The inning is done, but a special inning for the Rangers.
That certainly was, Dave. The first time since 2015 that the Rangers have gone back to back to back, and it was Adolis Garcia kicking things off. Then Mitch Garver with one off the foul pole, and then Nathaniel Lowe with a line shot to right field. 3 home runs, 3 different ways. Rangers lead at 3-1.
Continuing to dominate Seattle in Seattle. It looked like Tucker hit that one almost to Tacoma. And he leads the league with those 110 RBIs. Garcia right behind him, though. Now bottom of the 6th inning here, where the Rangers are back in front. 3-1. Will be Neto, Drury, and Moustakas.
What do we got here?
Looks like maybe a little pitch com trouble.
Right.
Jonah hitting the clickers. Oh, wait a minute. This is the remote for the stereo, not the television. Hold on a second here.
Just input. Hit input.
Are these batteries dead again? So they'll get that sorted out. Yeah. The pace of play measures. PitchCom. It has helped, and it has been a great addition to the game. And they get it all sorted out, and nobody doesn't cost anybody any timer violations or anything like that. So now we'll start the inning. Neto 0 for 2. And he swings right through strike 1. There's that good slider again. This ball in the air out to left field. And that's Evan Carter.
Hi.
So, hey, nice to have you, Evan. Evan is coming to play left field.
Well, I wonder, thinking about, of course, from the defensive standpoint, Evan Carter is a very good defender, so he comes in for Robbie Grossman. They've gone through now 2 left-handed pitchers, right? You had Patrick Sandoval starting, didn't last very long, Suarez, and then they went to the right-hander. And so because of that, too, think about that spot in the lineup. We know Robbie in there because it was lefties tonight, so an opportunity to upgrade your defense and probably get the matchup that you may want, because Suarez is the only lefty they have in the bullpen. So you have only right-handed pitchers left for the Angels, and so for Bruce Bochy, he feels pretty comfortable getting Evan Carter in this game, which I think we're going to see with some consistency against lefties anyway. It'll be Reed Detmers tomorrow, and I guess as Grossman starts, and Evan Carter will get in there when the starter comes out.
Gray continuing to get that slider in for strikes. That time on the outside corner to Drury. 0-2 the count. Rodney's looked pretty sharp tonight. Drury pops this one up right side of the infield, and Semien will take care of it, and they're 2 away. John with 7 strikeouts through 5 2/3 now. The only run allowed, the home run to Logan O'Hoppe in the 2nd inning. And O'Hoppe followed that with a base hit in the 4th inning a little bit later that he hit at 102 miles per hour. So he's had a couple of good swings. He waits on deck as Moustakas stands in, and he takes a curveball that time for a strike. So the Angels 1 run, 5 hits tonight. And 1. Rangers 3 runs on 5 hits. Every run in this game scored on a solo home run. And Gray off the plate that time with the changeup. For John, this would be his 80th pitch tonight. So still in a pretty good place that way. And again, everything looks pretty live. He looks really strong. His last couple outings have all been shortened, which also one would figure would help a little bit. As much as he wanted to pitch better in his last 3 starts, and as much as the team needed him to pitch better in those last 3 starts, it does kind of have a little silver lining payoff now, and that he should have a little more in the tank. 2-2, and a soft flare near second. That is taken care of by Seager. A 1-2-3 6th inning. So John Gray really sharp through 6 innings tonight. He leads 3-1.
Of the 7th, and you're looking at the only guy that could give Max Scherzer a run for his money in the talking department. Austin Hedges, you guys, so funny. Bruce Bochy was asked today, who is the emotion of this team? Who carries that load? And you know, Boch talked about Josh Young, and then he quickly pointed out Austin Hedges. He's like, man, I mean, what Austin's bringing in the dugout is pretty legit. And he's so great to be around. He's got good energy. And, you know, a guy like that who's not playing very often, he's got the best attitude. He's such a good teammate. He's the first one, you know, there to congratulate his teammates. He's got great bits. And Austin Hedges is something special as far as this team is concerned.
So watching that conversation right there when we first started showing it between him and Max Scherzer, oh, they must have sped that up a little bit. Is that like 1.5 speed? Because they're going really quickly. No, that's regular speed.
Yeah, he leaves an immediate impression when you meet him, man. He is pretty excited about everything. What an awesome dude. Been a lot of fun having him in this second half push. Marcus Semien leading off the inning. He just hits a ball a ton. Deep out to left. It's gone! And the Rangers home run parade continues in the 7th. Another solo shot. It's 4-1.
And the very first pitch that Jaime Barria throws coming out of the Angel bullpen nearly goes back into the Angel bullpen. A hanging slider to Marcus, and he is all over it.
Captain Caveman. 1 strike pitch to Seager, and it's off the plate. 1-1 the count. It's like every one of these is like the first home run he's ever seen in his life. It's the greatest. He's 6 years old. Did you see that? Oh man. 2-2.
It's like that barista that looks like they've been drinking coffee all day. Get in there. Maybe we should take an hour off.
Oh man. Bottle it and sell it. And everybody would be lining up. Barria's 2-2 to Corey Seager, and he hits this one on the ground. Second base, Stefanik throws it over to the new first baseman, Moustakas, for the first out of the inning. New corner infield look for the Angels. Moustakas moves across the diamond to take over at first. And Eduardo Escobar now at third base.
So Escobar, I guess, in for Shunwell after he fouled that ball off of his knee. He stayed in there. It seemed fine. Had the double. Did strike out in his next 2 at-bats.
So here is Evan Carter. First at bat of the game. And Barria off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. 7th inning, Rangers leading 4-1. And okay, strike 1. Evan has been really patient about some of these things. That was quite a bit off the plate, it looked like. Again, one thing to be careful of is, and we do need to, I think, occasionally throw this disclaimer out there. The strike zone box you see on your screen isn't precisely accurate, and especially when we have this camera angle that's a little off center. Little flare, center field, drops in, base hit. So Carter reaches again. That's 16 straight games which he has reached now to start his career. Games in which he has had a plate appearance.
It sounds like he may have broken his bat in the process. 2-1 count here, and he's got a fastball coming in at 92 miles an hour.
All right, first pitch to Young is off the plate. Sounds like flight 25 is moved to gate 208. Did I get that correct?
That's what he said. This will be interesting here with Evan Carter, as good of a runner as he is.
Ball in the air, not going to carry though. Walsh stays put. He'll make the catch.
I'll say that real quick just because Korea has not a lot of stolen base. In 80 1/3 innings, no stolen bases against him.
2 out now. Barria, the third reliever today, back of Patrick Sandoval, who had to leave early. Sandoval left with an injury in the 4th inning. And
it's a disengagement.
It's a disengagement,
right?
yeah.
The clock reset right away.
Took a moment there for Todd Tichenor to signal that part of it, but they reload the clock. And now the pitch in the dirt. Ball 1 to Adolis Garcia. Well, it goes back to what you were talking about with Evan Carter, right? Yeah. I mean, he didn't throw over there. It wasn't about Carter for Barria, but I'm sure he's aware that he just used a disengagement. Carter with a little lead. Not going. And that's high. 2-0. Three home runs in the 6th inning by the Rangers. A solo shot this inning by Semien. And this one is out into short right field for Walsh. So the inning is done. The Rangers add to the lead, though.
And they do it on their 4th home run of the night, 4th solo shot. Number 28 on the season for Marcus Semien, RBI number 98. How about Austin Hedges? Love it, every minute of it.
Well, you can see what's happening here. John Gray walking off with Matt Lucero, the head athletic trainer for the Rangers. He went out to begin his warm-ups this inning, and then a meeting out there, he has left the game. So Jonathan Hernandez will be coming on here in relief. He'll get as much time as he needs to get ready. We'll be back in a minute. Rangers with the 4-1 lead, bottom of the 7th inning, but moments ago John Gray was out taking his warm-up tosses, and I don't know, CJ, it's hard for me to see. What do you notice here?
Not much, right? You see that pitch, and it was interesting because you also see Jonah Heim look into the dugout. Maybe not a lot on that warm-up fastball, and maybe they knew something already, maybe had been bugging him a little bit. You see the reaction there as he's kicking the dirt and probably realizing he can't go on. He starts to have that conversation now. Bruce Bochy is there. Mike Maddox is there. Head athletic trainer Matt Lucero is there. And you can even see Lucero kind of shaking his head like, no, it's, we're not going to push or whatever it may be. But just hard to tell exactly what it is that was bothering him.
Yeah,
we'll find out soon enough.
It's just kind of amazing what the Rangers have been through this way. There's now Hernandez coming on here all of a sudden in an emergency spot. He delivers strike 1 to Logan O'Hoppe, who is homered and singled. Just swing and a miss.
Jonathan coming off back-to-back outings here, shutout innings. 2 outings ago against the Red Sox, he punched out 3, struck out the side. Did allow a couple of hits in his last outing against the Mariners, but back-to-back zeros, what you like to see from Jonathan.
Hard ground ball to shortstop. Seager takes care of O'Hoppe, 1 away. So that's a good start. How about a word now from Choctaw Casinos and Resorts?
Fun, games, relaxation, or excitement. We've got all your bases covered at Choctaw Casinos and Resorts.
We analyze this bullpen. We talk a lot about some of the things that went wrong early. One of those things was Jonathan Hernandez struggling and not being who they expected him to be. And much like Jose Leclerc, it wasn't to the same degree, but you can put it all behind you. Can the Rangers get what they expected out of these guys just the rest of the way? Right? These final 7 games, we've seen Jose Leclerc, who's feeling strong and recently emerging, and perhaps Jonathan. You put it all behind you. They only care about what you're doing right now. And again, his last 2 outings have been good.
Oh, accidental check swing. 0-2 on Grichuk. Well, I think it's a really, really good point. It's irrelevant how you got here, just as it's irrelevant in a lot of ways that the Rangers have had whatever injuries they've had to this point of the season. The point is, what do you have now, and what can you do? There's a ground ball left side and through. Grichuk reaches with 1 out in the 7th inning.
And these are harmless hits against Jonathan. If he's keeping the baseball on the ground, he will have success. He's one of the things that he does best. This is a slider to Grichuk. He's got him out front a little bit. The ball was not hit all that hard, but it just splits the defenders for that ground ball base hit.
So Grichuk, the base runner, Joe Adell. And he'll go after the first pitch. It's hit sharply up the middle. That's a base hit. 111 miles per hour, so that was really well struck.
It was, and it was on the 2-seam fastball from Jonathan, and that pitch usually has a lot of good movement to it. This one did not move nearly as much, and as you mentioned, well struck there as Joe Adell goes down and gets that baseball.
Couple of base runners. Now Jared Walsh. Andrew Heaney, the former Angel, has started to throw in the Rangers bullpen. Hernandez needs a ground ball here. Instead he gets a swing and a miss. Walsh has struck out and popped out tonight. 4-1 Rangers lead in a game that has featured 5 solo home runs. That's downstairs. So we've seen Leclerc seemingly turn the corner here lately. Maybe as he's gotten healthier. Hoping for a little of the same for Hernandez. 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss.
It's twice he's gone off after that slider. But it's off the plate from Jonathan. I think it probably makes sense to continue to go there. You can certainly try to elevate the fastball, though that's not really his game. Right? It's slider, changeup, 2-seam fastball, which plays better at the bottom of the zone.
The 1-2. And he got him swinging. And he got him on the slider. 2 away.
Yeah, there are times against big league hitters you feel like you can't repeat things, and then there are the swings that you got here from Jared Walsh on the slider. And as soon as you saw that first one, it seemed to make a lot of sense to stick with it. Jonah Heim does here with Jonathan Hernandez, and they get that big strikeout.
So trying to work around a couple of base hits. Needs 1 more out. Stefanik has a couple of hits in today's game, and he takes ball 1. Single in the 3rd. Single in the 5th for Stefanik. He was also caught stealing last time he got on base. 2-0 the count.
You even listening to this?
I'm telling you, I've almost had enough of this guy yelling at me.
Yeah, so he started off saying that Robbie Grossman left the game with a right tight wrist. Then he said it twice, then corrected himself and said no, it was John Gray that left the game.
It's just not helpful. 2-1.
So this is an older stadium. In the newer stadiums, you can turn down that speaker in each individual booth. And I'm guessing that's not an option here. Ripping the speaker out of the wall, however,
that's going to be step 2. Grichuk at second, Adell at first for the Angels, and the 2-1. A high, slow chopper shortstop. Tough play, and a good job by Seager. Not in time to first. Man alive, he really had to put everything he had on that one, and there was just the slightest of bobbles transferring to the throwing hand, and that was enough.
How about how high this ball bounces? Looked like it may have hit the plate. And for Corey Seager, realizes he's not going to get it in the air. The fact that he caught that cleanly on the run as he's backhanding it, it wasn't a short hop. Right? It's one thing when you can sit there and put yourself in a position where you can control the hop. He couldn't do that. He had no choice, and he got it cleanly. That was impressive. Just as you mentioned, a little bit of hesitation there on the exchange, and probably the reason why the runner was safe. But that was still a pretty great play by Corey Seager to even make that close.
Well, Mike Maddox out there trying to get a handle on things as Escobar will be the batter. And it's a quick conversation.
If he doesn't feel that cleanly, that's a run.
Yeah.
That's the difference right now here with 2 outs. Hopefully for Jonathan, he can finish this right here. You mentioned it with Andrew Heaney in the bullpen. You got a couple of righties that are due next between Neto and Drury. A little timeout here from Jonathan or something. I guess I wonder if that will count as a disengagement.
I think it will, because it looked as if timeout was asked for by Heim. I didn't see the indication given, though. Escobar pulls that one foul. Strike one. Escobar 1 for 1 against Hernandez. And Jonathan trying to just control that heart rate a little bit. Bases loaded here in a 4-1 game. Big spot for the Rangers right-hander. And it's on the ground, second base. And Semien takes care of it. The inning is done, and Jonathan Hernandez relieved. Right, nicely done. Works around a little traffic in the 7th. We go to the 8th with the Rangers up by 3. Baseball on Bally Sports is brought to you by Baylor Scott & White Health, changing healthcare for the better. And by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. It's the Big A. 4-1. Rangers with the lead here in the 8th inning. Not that A. There's another A outside. It's even bigger, if you can believe it. 4-1. Rangers with the lead. Mitch Garver hitting things off here against Jaime Barria, and he lines that over third, heading into the corner. Good sliding stop out there by Grichuk, and he holds Garver to a leadoff single. And that's a good play there by Grichuk.
That certainly is. Mitch Garver, no doubt, thinking double as soon as he sees this ball is going to reach the outfield grass. But Randal Grichuk's a good defender. He's got good arms, got some pretty good speed. That's a nice, clean sliding play, and he gets it in quickly to keep Garver at first.
Lead man on here is Lowe. He homered last time up and fouls that one back. Lowe's 17th home run of the year, and it was a missile over the wall in right. Just a low screaming shot. And it was the 3rd of consecutive home runs in the 6th inning.
Making now 10 home runs in the last 2 games for the Rangers. That'll tie a team record for a 2-game span. Is it a span if it's 2?
Oh yeah, no, that's a span. 1-2 on Nathaniel. The Rangers trying to take the opening game here in Anaheim. We'll play here again tomorrow. We do not know tomorrow's starter for the Rangers. Dunning will start the game Wednesday night. And the Wednesday night, Thursday turnaround is going to be an interesting part of this road trip, as the Rangers will have to travel after the game Wednesday and get in very late into Seattle. 2-2. It's off the plate, full count.
We'll see how things go, but expected sometime maybe just before 2 a.m. That long flight up to Seattle. I wonder, though, what becomes more difficult for the guys, right? You change 2 hours, even though they had the day game on Sunday, but you lose 2 hours. So right now, I'm feeling maybe a little tired.
A chance for 2 for the Angels, and they're able to turn it 4-6-3. And the bases are clean now in the 8th inning.
He hit it hard, and even 100 miles an hour off the bat for Nathaniel, but right at the second baseman for that easy 4.63. You know what I'm saying, right? I mean, obviously we got in a decent hour,
right?
But you're back 2 hours.
Yeah. To me,
off a little bit.
Yeah. To me, it's those brutal late nights like we will have Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Because I'll bet you right now, you will not be under the sheets before 3 a.m.
Oh, you're talking about on Wednesday?
Yeah. To me, that's just more disruptive. 1-1 to Jonah Heim. Now, where's Yusei Kikuchi? Let's get him in on this conversation.
Can't get a solid 13 hours.
I can't get my 14 hours sleep. I don't know how I'm supposed to perform.
Is it even worth going to bed? It's pretty amazing. He slept 11 hours and said that just didn't feel himself.
Let me tell you something. If I slept 11 hours, I wouldn't feel like myself either. Because I probably had the flu.
It wasn't enough.
3-1, and that's fouled away. It's a full count on Jonah. Well, listen, to each their own, right? I mean, it's definitely one way to go about it. It's going to make baseball a tough living for you, though, if you're trying to get 13 hours a night. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and it's fouled away. Now, Barria trying to make it 2 innings here in relief for the Angels. Payoff, and that's high. He walks Jonah. It's the first walk since the starter Sandoval left the game. Here comes Leody Taveras. Let's check in with Emily.
Well, we're going to take a peek under that Chevy hood, and this one's going to be quick because you know why? It's the same answer to all 3 questions. Favorite city, Punta Cana. Favorite beach, Punta Cana. Favorite vacation spot, Punta Cana. Obviously, the Dominican Republic. And guys, if you've ever been to Punta Cana, you would know why Leody answered that way.
You've been?
I have, and it is beautiful.
I too have been.
Oh,
yeah, I played
fancy
winter
boy.
Well, I played winter ball in the Dominican. Flew
okay.
into Punta Cana. It's no Casa de Campo.
Which also sounds lovely.
Yeah, so the second team I played for, that's where you stay.
Oh.
At Casa de Campo.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That's a big resort, right?
It's a beautiful, huge resort. The golf course. Probably seen it on video games.
Yeah.
So that's where I knew. That's why I had heard of it before I'd ever gone there.
Ball and 2 strikes on Taveras. Boy, don't get our partner Dave Valley going on those things. 1-2 pitch. That one is through the right side. Base hit for Taveras. Heim heads for third, and he gets in there easily. No throw offered. So the Rangers have him on the corners now.
Good to see Leody get on the board. We've talked a lot about how good his September has been, and he gets his 4-seam fastball here at 93 miles an hour. Turns on it, a soft base hit into right field, and really nice base running by Jonah Heim. With 2 outs, gets a decent jump, but you see where he is when Walsh gets this baseball, and he's got a decent arm.
So here's Semien. Now, when Barria came in, the first batter he faced was Marcus. And the first pitch he threw, Semien hit it over the fence. It's up there, partner.
Panicked a little bit, just a little bit.
See, you still got it.
Got what?
Quick reflexes.
Gooby's up there. Mark Gooby's on next door holding a paper. Like that's going to help. That was on target. There we go.
And there's one in the dirt and to the backstop, and it gets Heim home. A wild pitch adds to the Rangers' lead. It's 5-1. Taveras, meanwhile, goes to second.
Take a look at this pitch here. It's that slider and missing badly, and you can see O'Hoppe trying to backhand it. Again, it's twice now where we have not seen him get all the way down with an opportunity to block the pitch, and maybe just a little bit lazy there late in the game.
1-1 pitch, and Marcus takes wide. So a run across in the 8th as the Rangers extend that lead. And that one Rushes in a little bit high. Meanwhile, by the way, 9th inning now in Seattle. In fact, bottom of the 9th inning. Mariners have a man on, but they trail Houston 5-0. 3-1. And it's a full count. Semien had a multi-homer game yesterday. Has a home run here today. And he hits this out to left field. It's going to hang up for Grichuk. Gets to it. And the inning is done. Rangers will take the additional run, though. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up here in Anaheim. It's 5-1 Rangers. Well, you might have heard the excitement this morning. Maybe some of your coworkers or friends were talking about it. ALDS tickets for Rangers home games went on sale this morning at Rangers.com/postseason. Be sure to jump in the action as well. Jonathan Hernandez out in this 8th inning. He did a great job last inning working around 3 hits and getting out of a bases loaded jam. He came on in an emergency spot when John Gray had to leave because of an injury to Robbie Grossman. That's initially reported. Just kidding. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seriously, it's just a joke. The 1-1 and a little roller back to the mound. Hernandez will run it over to first and get Neto 1 away. So the injury to John Gray was discomfort in his right wrist. Am I correct?
That's what they said, yes.
Yeah. And so Jonathan came on. He had to warm up on the field due to the injury. And so that could be a little disruptive, a little challenging for a guy sometimes. But anyway, did a good job, and now a chance to add an inning as he goes right past Drury with that hard slider, strike 1.
Yeah, this would be big, right? If he can get through this one, of course, just giving the Rangers a couple of innings. But he had a pretty emotional inning, that last one, right? We saw his reaction after he got that last out. He was pretty excited about it. Comes out firing strikes right now and trying to hold this lead. Sometimes you can have, especially with the kind of year that he's had, right? You have kind of a good inning in an important spot. You get a really big out there at the end with the bases loaded. There's sometimes can be a little bit of a letdown. You know, if you're not careful, thinking that might be it. But they keep him in this game, and so far he's responded a couple of pitches into this 8th inning.
Trying to pick up another strikeout here, and that good fastball just misses. 1-2.
Well, we have seen this with some consistency, right? As far as some of these borderline pitches, we talked about it earlier. Patrick Sandoval was really frustrated, starter for the Angels tonight on some of those calls. That was a good pitch, but I had just missed.
So now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Drury is 0 for 3 so far tonight. It is over, by the way, in Seattle. Houston won that game 5-1. That one just misses low. Really, again, good pitch. 98 miles per hour. It hit his target. Just a skosh low. 3-2. And a swing and a miss. Got him on the slider. His 2nd strikeout tonight.
Another good sign here for Jonathan, the ability to go to the 3-2 slider. He may look a little frustrated there, and that could be because it finished on the inner third. We saw John Gray do this pretty well tonight a couple of times. Arm side sliders that were very effective. That's going to be it for Jonathan Hernandez, and what a successful outing it was for him, and a really encouraging sign to get that right-hander going.
All right, so Rangers go a little deeper into that bullpen here in the 8th with a 5-1 lead. Hey, well, tomorrow will be game 2 of this series, Rangers and Angels. It starts at 8:30 Central Time, and we'll have it all for you right here on Bally Sports Southwest. And my guess is, and I'm just guessing, it'll be another beautiful evening here in Southern California. It's 73 degrees when we got started tonight, and Andrew Heaney has come on now in the bottom of the 8th inning.
This will be the 5th time for Andrew Heaney out of the Ranger bullpen. 27 starts for him so far this season, 4.35 ERA. He has given up 23 home runs, the former Angel, 4-seam fastball, slider, and changeup.
Okay, well, he runs one in on Mike Moustakas. 2 out, nobody on base, and Heaney, the former Angel, deals apparently just off the plate. That was a pretty good pitch. Heaney last year was down here in Southern California, though pitching for the Dodgers. It's 3-0. There's a strike.
See where Bruce Bochy wants to take this thing in the plan right now for Andrew Heaney, right? If he finishes off the inning, he doesn't have to go back out there. With a 4-run lead, perhaps they would like him to. You got some righties coming up. I don't really worry too much about left-right splits necessarily with Andrew Heaney. The strikeout rate stays about the same. The walk rate actually has gone up. It's higher against lefties than it is righties. But of the 23 home runs I mentioned, only one off a left-handed bat.
Stays 3-2 on Moustakas.
Thumbs up after this foul tip.
Oh. That was pretty direct.
Well, it was. Todd Tischer back there.
Heaney's 3-2. Another foul ball. Heaney made his Angels debut in 2015. He pitched briefly with the Marlins the previous season, but 2015 was his first year with the Angels. Another foul ball, and then he was pretty much a mainstay with him, more or less through 2021. He did have a couple of, a little detour in 2019 with the Yankees, and he went back there again in 2021. This one headed foul down the line, and count stays full on Moustakas. But he was a guy the Rangers targeted in the offseason and added to the rotation depth. Native Oklahoma has now been working out of the bullpen, and he gets Moustakas to lift it out to left field, and that hangs up plenty for Carter to get to it, and the inning is over. So that'll take us to the ninth. Andrew Heaney comes on to get that final out of the 8th inning, and the Rangers maintain the 5-1 lead. Well, you take a look at the standings now in the West Division. The Astros, as we mentioned, they won their game 5-1 up in Seattle. So that pushes the Mariners 3.5 back at the moment in the division. It gives the Astros a 1.5 lead for that final wild card spot as well in the American League wild card hunt. So that's where we are at the moment. Pending the finish of today's game, Rangers will send the 2, 3, and 4 batters in this 9th inning against Carson Fulmer.
And former first-round pick, 8th overall back in 2015, coming out of Vanderbilt. That was by the Chicago White Sox. Bounced around a little bit. The Tigers and the Orioles, Reds, Dodgers, and now here with the Angels. 29 years old, Carson Fulmer.
Just called back up yesterday and pitched in the ball game, and he gets a swinging strike here on Seager. 0-2. To make room for Fulmer, that's what precipitated putting Mike Trout on the 60-day injured list. And Phil Nevin then having to confirm to all the reporters yesterday here, actually was on the road yesterday in Minnesota, that indeed there was no chance of Trout coming back this year. 0-2 pitch, that's low. 1-2. Tyler Anderson, left-hander, was also placed on the injured list yesterday. His left knee has been bothering him. And there's a swing and a high fly ball center field. Seager got under a few today. That's a long out to start the 9th inning.
And Mike Trout addressed something that kind of been out there a little bit, a lot of speculation with Shohei Ohtani done for the year and likely headed somewhere else, and Anthony Rendon with all the injuries and the struggles. And, would he maybe have a conversation with Artie Moreno and talk about potentially moving on from Mike Trout, which seems kind of silly. He kind of squashed all that today. So he's got 7 more years on his contract. He's committed to being here, and he's not going anywhere. He's got full no-trade protection, but some people wondering, would the Angels go to him? Are they going to be going through some kind of reset right now? I don't think so. I think they'll continue to try to stay aggressive. I think the thing that happens, I'd say should happen, but may happen, or at least a conversation about leadership on the field in the front office, something that'll probably be talked about and addressed pretty quickly at the end of the season for the Angels, and what the plan's going to be going forward. Man, just a bad run of injuries for some really important players.
I mean, they've made some really aggressive moves over the years, and they have certainly attracted big talent here. But they are snake bitten, to say the least. 2-2 on Evan Carter. And fouls that one off to stay alive. 2-2. 5-1 Rangers lead. Carter came into play left field in the 6th inning. He got up in the 7th inning and he singled. And he strikes out here, 2 away. So here comes Josh Young. So Fulmer yesterday getting called up. He had signed a minor league deal with the Angels this year and struggled in the minor leagues. This ball's hammered high in the air out to center. Adele is back near the wall and he'll make the catch. And that ends the inning. Young just missed hitting one out. And so now the bottom of the 9th coming here in Anaheim with the Rangers on top 5-1. Well, you may have heard full and half season ticket plans for next year are on sale now. And here's why I bring it up, because you get priority access to this year's postseason and next year's All-Star events if you get in on one of those full or half season packages right now. Rangers.com/season tickets. That's how you do it. That's kind of a pro tip, little insider way to get that access. Tell your friends. Heaney goes to work here. And he misses with ball 1 to Logan O'Hoppe. A 1-1 count to the Angels catcher, who was homered and singled tonight. And comes up empty there. The changeup got him 1-2. Heaney got the final out last inning after Jonathan Hernandez went an inning and 2/3 scoreless tonight. So good job by Hernandez. Picked up a couple of strikeouts. Great outing by John Gray. And here's a ground ball to third. Young right there for it. And he throws out O'Hoppe.
So far, good job here by Andrew Heaney, finishing off Mike Moustakas, and now Logan O'Hoppe here with a good hard fastball in, reaching ground ball over to Josh Young. We mentioned it earlier, the great job the infield has done all season long. Just 14 fielding errors for the Rangers, the fewest in baseball. The big thing for postgame for me, we've got to get there first.
Fly ball out to right field. That takes Garcia back a few steps. But he makes the catch, 2 away.
It's just finding out the significance of the injury to John Gray, right? I mean, the right wrist, just aching a little bit. He didn't look like he was in any significant pain, but you just never know. So hopefully we'll get some good news on John Gray after this one.
Angels down to their final out, and Joe Adele, the batter, he swings through strike 1. Angels had the lead into the 6th inning. It was a 1-0 game, and that's when the Rangers started hitting home runs. Fouled back our direction. Jeez. That was close.
You get all excited about the really good view here because we're close to the field, but looking around, looking at screens, keeping score. Head on a swivel up here.
I mean, based on the concussive noise that thing just produced, should I barehand the next one that comes up here, or maybe not barehand it?
No, have to.
That's just a bit high. 1 and 2 the count.
With the opportunity for all the glory of catching it cleanly with one hand. Yeah, you might break your hand or a finger or two, but the risk versus reward is there.
It's outside. Well, I got one when we were here last time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's going to hit the back wall.
Oh, that's
right.
Yes. That sounds more familiar.
Heaney's 2-2 and foul ball. So we'll look for a good update today on Jon Gray. Rangers trying to finish off a 5-1 win to start this road trip. And that is in the air. Right field, playable for Garcia, and he's got it. This one is over. And don't look now, the Rangers have won 6 straight.
Magic number down to 4. You can see it there in the Ballybor. This was a good win. You mentioned it fell behind early, but the offense coming up big. Really nice night from Jon Gray, and a couple of those arms coming out of the bullpen. Jonathan Hernandez, Andrew Heaney doing some great work, and this team right now is feeling it.
So things in a bit of a groove right now for these Rangers. A 5-1 win to start the roadie. We'll be back to wrap this one up in just a moment.